You're listening to The Wellness Lounge, the space where wellness isn't just a checklist, it's a lifestyle. I'm your host, Alex, licensed esthetician and beauty business owner for nearly a decade. Here, I share what I've learned on my own path to healing, because glowing skin begins with a radiant life. Welcome to The Lounge, your place to recharge, thrive, and unwind. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wellness Lounge. I'm so excited because today is my very first episode, and I have been so excited for this podcast to come into fruition. I've had it on my vision board all year long, and finally, back in, I would say, July, I really was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do this thing. And even before that, I had thought about it, but it just wasn't one of those things that I thought was going to come together, and for it to finally come together feels like another puzzle piece just perfectly fitting. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to share all the exciting things I have in store for you. And today's episode, I just wanted to share with you what my inspiration behind starting the Wellness Lounge is. I've done a ton of research on different topics that I see either on Instagram, or I see, other estheticians or wellness people talking about. And if it catches my eye, which most likely, if it's anything wellness, it does because I'm a wellness junkie, anything biohacking or trying to improve your quality of life, I just eat it up. I don't know what it is. I will probably buy and do anything to improve my health, my wellness, my mental being, but I do my best to research it myself to find if I'm a good fit for whatever it is that I'm going to be trying. And so I've tried so many different things, and the things I'm going to share with you, some of them are new to me, some of them are things that I have been doing since the beginning of the year, which is when I really started my weight loss journey, which with my weight loss journey, it's so connected to my wellness journey because I knew that my weight gain was coming from my depression. And no, it's a little taboo to talk about depression, but on here, that is really the source of why I started the Wellness Lounge, is because I had debilitating depression. And a lot of people would not know that from being my friend or being in my life. I think that I hid it so well that not a lot of people would know that I was going through depression. At least that's what I would like to think. I would like to think that I acted like I was happy and all these things, but I was really having a battle with myself. And one of those things that really made it worse was my weight gain, because I was the biggest I've ever been, and I did not feel comfortable in my body. I tried really hard to embrace it, and I would see all these models on Instagram or plus size women who they looked beautiful. They were either smaller than me, bigger than me, the same size as me. And, I shouldn't have compared my body to other people, but it's like I know these models, they would post their weight and they'd be like, oh, I'm 200 pounds, whatever. And I would compare myself and be like, wow, well, I weigh close to them and I don't look that good. And I was just so unhappy with my body, really was what it is. And I would go out to have fun with my friends, and I think I would look so cute in an outfit and be feeling myself, and then I would look in the mirror and I was like, "Oh my God, that's what I look like." And I don't know if anybody has ever felt that way, but to feel like you don't recognize yourself in the mirror is a really weird thing. It was really weird. And it really messed with my brain. And it really was not good for my mental health. Looking at pictures of myself and same thing. And, so I was like, you know what? I need to lose some weight. I feel like my body would feel better. I feel like my confidence would go, feel better. My clothes would fit better. I would have more energy if I'm moving my body. And so my wellness journey was really driven by the fact that I wanted to lose weight. And I knew that if I wanted to lose weight, I was going to have to regulate my emotions because if you're depressed and you're anxious and you're lacking vitamins and, vitamin D because you're not going outside and you're not moving your body and your body's not circulating and your blood's not pumping and your cardiovascular health isn't there. And I'm too tired to do the things that I love. Sometimes it would be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go ride my horse. I don't want to go out to the ranch. I don't want to walk my dogs. I don't want to go hiking because I didn't find joy in that anymore because I was just having a hard time finding joy in life, which I know sounds dramatic, but it was true. And I was tired of living like that. I'm not someone who wants to live like that. I'm not somebody who, I don't think anybody wants to live like that, but I was determined to pull myself out of it. You only have one life to live, and God forbid something were to happen to me tomorrow. I want to know that my life was full, that I did everything in my power to live the absolute best life that I can. And I think sometimes we're really hard on ourselves and we might think, oh, well, this person is not, near, not even as old as me and they have this, or this person is older than me and they have that, or we're constantly comparing ourselves with other people, which is so bad for our mental health. We need to focus on where we were yesterday and where we are today. And I have to sometimes kind of slap myself because, I think to myself, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I feel like I haven't lost that much weight, which I've lost 45 pounds. If you look at what 45 pounds of fat looks like, that's like a whole other freaking person. And so, or maybe a child. And that's pretty substantial. I've never lost that much weight in my life. I think the most weight I've ever lost is like 30 pounds, and I gained it back fairly quickly because it wasn't a lifestyle change, it was a diet. And I just don't think that anything's ever going to stick if you aren't able to maintain it and be consistent with it. And I mean, that's like a tale old as time is that, when you have to, it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a fad diet where you eat keto for a month and you lose, all this weight and you look fantastic. And then you go back to eating the way that you were eating before. And then you go back to the same weight. So, long story short, the Wellness Lounge is how I pulled myself out of the deepest, darkest depression that I've ever been in. And I think although it's unfortunate that I had to go through that to be at the point in my life that I'm at now. I'm more fit than I've ever been in my life. I'm more consistent than I've ever been. I want to say I'm happier than I've ever been. And that's because I'm in control of my emotions. And I have my days where something might really tick me off and I'm like, "Whoa, you need to get it together, sister." But for the most part, I feel like things can happen in my life that are out of my control, and the only thing I can control is me and my reaction and my response. And focusing on that and remaining calm in stressful situations and remaining the center of my peace has been life changing. And like I said, I'm not perfect. There are times where I'm like, okay, girl, you need to find your inner Zen because you are not Zen right now. And so I think about all these tools that I've learned, and I can snap myself out of it so much quicker than I could before. And I have things that are my go-to things that have been a part of my routine that I'm going to share with you. I have things that are new to me that I really are don't know a lot about, that I'm just having a guest on the show who is an expert in it to educate you and I both on what it is and if we can apply it into our wellness routine. And then there's going to be things that I know I'm very knowledgeable in that I might not have a guest for. I'll just be me talking, specifically, maybe surrounded around skincare because I am an esthetician. I've been a beauty business owner for almost 10 years and licensed esthetician. And so I'm very knowledgeable on certain things related to skincare and overall like well-being and how we can kind of like radiate from the outside in, whether that's taking supplements or lymphatic drainage or stretching and meditation and doing my own wellness journey. I've become pretty educated in a lot of different topics to help get you into the right direction of wellness. So I'm looking forward to sharing everything with you, and I hope that you can apply some of these things in your wellness journey. Maybe things that you've wondered about and you've heard about, but you're not quite sure what it is or how to go about starting it into your routine and find some inspiration in it. And stay tuned because we have an amazing ride ahead of us, and I can't wait for you to be a part of it. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of the Wellness Lounge. Just a quick reminder, everything we share here is for education and inspiration purposes only. It's not medical advice. As always, check with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your wellness routine. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. You can also connect with me on Instagram at aesthetics.by.alexandra for a more behind-the-scenes look. You can also go to my website, aestheticsbyalexandra.com, for more information. Until next time, stay radiant, stay grounded, and most of all, stay well.